Go live. Go live. And let me go over here. Go live. All right, here we go. Okay, let's do a mic check real quick. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. And remember, the mics are embedded in the oh, God, I'm glad I just said that because where is the cord for? There we go. Testing, 1, 2. Test your mic for me.
Testing, 1, 2. Testing. Yo. Can you hear me?
Do it again.
Don't know what's going over there.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Because I'm checking to see. We don't have to actually hear it here, but we just have to hear it. See that it's going up and down.
Testing. This is what I know for all of those don't know yet. If you who know, go and press play.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go. All righty. All right, we're going to get our show started.
Welcome to Dr. Hands Live. Your queen, Dr. Hands Live, CEO of the White Youth Entertainment Community, founder of the Kings and Queens of America. She keeps it real. She kills the science and mentality. When you become the kings and queens you are, you just live for everything. Not religiously, but spiritually. Nothing's on the way. Dr. Hands Live.
Hey, it's your girl, Dr. Harris, live here at BPU Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in to our show today. We do have some special guests, and I see a lot of people that are tuning in. I want to thank you for tuning in. It is a very, very strategic show today. Today's topic is, why is it important to bridge the gap between nationalities and the religions of our people, of Black people? It's so important because without us coming together, then our power is limited. So stay tuned for the show, and we will be back with you in just one moment. Yes.
Hi, I'm the internet. You know what's difficult? Adulting.
TJ, good job.
Hey guys, I'm back. Time to slay. Yo.
Yes.
Yo. No, I have a long time girlfriend. Mom, I need my macaroni. You know what's easy? Building a website with GoDaddy. Pick a domain name, choose a design. You can build a website in under an hour.
Hey, John.
Don't it seem like I'm always there when it matters, but missing most of the other time, a terrible pattern. The rewards I see from working have made me an addict. There's way more people that want it than people that have it. I don't get it. I would hate to think I tricked them. If I beat them to my system, guess I sure know how to pick them. And I'm always so regret. Yeah, I'm always so regret. And I always make it harder on whoever's coming next. It goes up and down, she's up and down. She's crying now, but she'll laugh again. Cause we on the ride, she here with us. Next best, she just keeps happening and she loves it. She says to me like, who does this? And we hold hands while I pray. She's not the type to hold grudges. I'm wrong.
Bad boys ain't no good. Good boys ain't no fun.
Thank you so much. Now we are coming back with our special guest, and we're going to start with Mr. Jarju. Mr. Mo Jarju is here. He is from the Gambia, Africa, and he has a lot of different things going on. And we just want to turn over the mic to Mr. Jarju and let him tell everyone who he is.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Dr. Harris. Thank you for inviting me to your studios of BPU. I am very glad to meet my wonderful friend here, my Caribbean friend. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mo Jarju. I'm a community advocate. I've been living in the Atlanta area since '99. And basically, my life's work brings me to my community, which we have here in the Atlanta area. And I've been engaged with the community organization called Atlanta Emergency Relief Association. But I'm not sitting here today on their capacity, so we're just going to be putting that as my background. By the way, I'm very happy to be here, Dr. Harris, and thank you once again for the invitation.
And I'm happy to have you here. Thank you so much, because I feel that it's important for us as a people, when we're from different places, to make sure that we understand that we are one another's equals, no matter what nationality we are, no matter what our religious background is or our religious preference is. That has nothing to do with us when it comes to us coming together in unity. And with that being said, we have another person here, which is actually a music artist from Jamaica. Tell them about yourself, Nova.
Well, first thing I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here, Look about myself, just I do some female songs, Just I work with a producer from Jamaica, Rural Production. And right now I'm working on my second single called 100 Mile, which you have a copy of it that you're going to play today.
Okay. So, and we will be playing a few of Nova's songs to all of my Gambian audience. We will be having a few songs that you'll enjoy. But the main thing that we're here for today is to not only bring to light who my guests are and what they do, but also show how important it is for us as a people to come together in unity and create an atmosphere of change. And Mr. Mo Jarju,
Yes.
if you could tell me, how long have you been here in the United States?
Well, that's a very good question. Thank you, Dr. Harris. I've actually lived in the United States for a little over 22 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I am a family man. I live with my 3 children and a wonderful wife. But here in the United States, to be precise, I've been here 22 years.
22 years. And in your 22 years, you know, I know that one of the things that I really focus on is unity. Actually, that's what I focus on totally is unity.
Right.
But what is your experiences with the lack of unity, not only in the United States, but even with your own people?
Right. I'm glad you touched on that. Basically, my line of work is God has blessed me with a wonderful community, but in unity, it's needed everywhere you go. In every aspect of life, if there's no unity, there's no togetherness. And there's no togetherness, there's no blessing.
Right.
Me coming from an African background, we are taught we only become very powerful if we come together.
Yes, sir.
So this is a belief I carried with me even to my adopted home here. And I believe those beliefs to be so real, because this is why I'm so passionate about community work. For the past 17 years, I've been dedicating my life to community work. Basically, it's very important because with the community, you can create togetherness and create awareness for what benefits your people in general.
Have you ever realized that the word community has 2 words in it that mean the same exact thing?
Correct.
And that's commune, which means to come together, and then unity, which means to come together.
Yes.
And that means that if we're working in the community, we have a mindset of a double portion of us coming together because it's needed.
Correct.
So, Mr. Jarju, when it comes to all of the things that you see here, because I know that in America versus Africa is very different.
Yes.
And, well, I take that back because a lot of Africa now is becoming Americanized. I mean, it's sad to say it, but it's the truth. A lot of Africa is becoming Americanized. They're coming really westernized to the point that some of the values and things that they used to carry, they're divorcing that concept, but they're adopting all of this stuff of separation. And we see it all the time, you know, with all the wars that's going on and Nigerians fighting against Gambians and, you know, all of the things that's going on. What is your take on, you know, what is your vision of the things that I just spoke of here in the United States?
What I observe here is, for lack of wisdom, some people resort to mediocrity.
Mm-hmm.
Mediocrity shouldn't be a proud session for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, you seek to know.
Right.
If you're not aware, go to the people with wisdom so you can be aware.
Amen.
So this is what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's my personal belief. But negativity is found everywhere, Dr. Harris.
That's
Wherever
right.
you go in the world, there is negativity. But we don't take plight in that negativity. We make a difference. That's what
Right.
makes us as human beings.
Right.
So, but then we can only advocate that if we are practicing people who are compassionate about our own people.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you make results. That's when you make positive changes. That's
Mhm.
when you make impacts on people in life, even your own life.
Correct.
That's how we can get together. But it's a difficult task. It's not one-day work.
Mm-hmm.
What is sad is if you choose the path that is of ignorance. That is what is the unfortunate part. We
Mm-hmm.
wish that Black people everywhere would not choose this path as a way of life.
Well, one of the things that I've learned is that words mean everything. And because words mean everything, some of the words and some of the meanings of the words that we have been basically adopted to, we have to change the direction of those words because a lot of it concerning us is very negative. So I changed the word Black to an acronym: Beautiful Living Ancestors Controlling Kingdoms. Because we are beautiful, We are the living ancestors, and we're designed to control this kingdom. What are your thoughts on that?
Those are, they are very thoughtful. And if I can hear you very correctly, those words are choreographed and they're carefully chosen.
Yes.
Because they speak from the mind and soul.
Yes.
I'm not a preacher, but I have done a little bit of soul searching myself.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're religious or you of the wisdom to be blessed with knowing who you are,
exactly,
then you can prophesize to other people to make an impact.
Mm-hmm.
So we all know that, and that religion brings a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we leave that to the people who are of wisdom thoughts that can bring that. But then what matters is that togetherness is the key to everything. I will go back to that. Mm-hmm. As a community advocate, I don't know how many billion times I can say that.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the problems that I have with this whole togetherness thing is this: there is none. That's the problem that I have with it. And one thing that I deal with everybody. I deal with people from Africa, people from Jamaica, people from Haiti, people from the Dominican Republic, people from Belize, Mexico, who are the same skin color as we are. And we all have the same issues, and that's the lack of support and unity with one another. So what do you think that needs to be done in order for the lack of unity to become unity?
More awareness, Dr. Harris. More awareness. If people know what they don't know,
mm-hmm.
you can see that. I've learned this through my community work.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is not ignorance by choice. It's just that they don't have the information.
Right.
They don't seek the information to understand that what they seek or what they aspire to become
mm-hmm.
is just right in front of them. If they only ask the right people and they are willing to give them the right information.
Yes.
So as Black people, regardless if you're from the Caribbean,
mm-hmm.
you are an American,
mm-hmm.
I'm an African.
Mm-hmm.
We can sit here today and share knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps we might be able to impact somebody's life
right.
by a simple conversation that we are having.
Mm-hmm.
That you orchestrated, that you chose as a path of life to understand that you can make impact to other people.
Correct.
So if a lot of people emulate what you're doing, there you go. It becomes a togetherness.
Mm-hmm.
That's where communities are born.
Correct.
When we speak to each other, when we understand each other, when we know what we don't know, then that creates what the path that you are championing. It's a difficult task, but it's doable.
It is doable. And that's the thing that we have to understand, that our mindset in this whole thing about unity has to be that it is doable. And because it is doable, then we have the understanding that it's going to take for us to do. So coming from the Gambian community, and, I'm American, with African thoughts,
yes,
with Caribbean thoughts, with, I'm just that person that understands that it's not where you're from, it's what you do with who you are. Let me go ahead and take this call. Hey, caller, thank you so much for tuning in to Dr. Harris Live and Friends. And whom do I have a pleasure to speak with?
It's Bobby Worthy. How's it going, Doc?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Same old.
And how can I help you today?
I was just calling in. Just sent a message. They called into the show. I didn't even look online to see what the show was about.
Well, today's show is why is it important to bridge the gap between the nationalities and religion of Black people?
Wow. That's a deep one. Huh? So it's on religion and nationality of Black people.
Yeah, why is it important for us to come together?
Well, it's always important for us to come together, but, even the religions, but, I'm not one on keen on religion. And, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan been asking questions for years, who did Black people pray to before slavery?
Right.
Because we were killed and beheaded for practicing our true religion, whatever that religion was. It definitely wasn't what is taught to us today as far as religion. But again, we were beheaded and killed, or our ancestors were beheaded and killed for practicing their religion They adopted the slave as a slave master. We adopted their religion. We adopted their names. We took on the mentality of our slave masters. We became our slave masters. We took their names and their identity and all that. So, you know.
Right. We understand all of that. But what we're looking at is moving forward, not looking backward, because we understand that, you know, slavery has been, we understand that we're still living in the slave's mindset. Every day that we're not unified, that's still a slave's mindset, because the design of religion and everything else is always to keep us separated. So my question is, why is it important for us as a people to become unified and put the barriers of nationalities and religions behind us and come together as one, understanding that we really are one anyway?
Well, again, it's very important if we can do that. If we can set aside the egos, the people, everybody wanting to be the head people in charge, everybody want to do this and do that. But to me, even Umar Johnson speaks of it all the time. Dr. Umar Johnson speaks of it all the time, that we are, most of us, and that means all of us almost, are still in an enslavement mentality. Mentality. And until we get out of that, then we ain't gonna never come together.
Right. And then we have a lot of pastors and ministers talking about breaking chains, but in all reality, any chain that's broken can be put back together. So we have to learn to destroy the chains. And the first chain that we have to destroy is the chain of separation. And then the second chain that we have to destroy is the chain of being our own worst enemy. And these are the things that we're talking about here today. I want to thank you so much for calling in today. Is there any other questions that you have for us before we end the call?
All right, then. Not a bit.
Thank you so much for calling in. Tell them who you are, where you're calling from.
Bobby Worthy. Right now I'm from Georgia, but I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, well, hey, Bob, that's Bobby. Hey, Bobby, I didn't know that was you. Thank you, bro, for calling in. Well, tell them who you are. Tell them who you are.
I'm the national president for the Justice League United, Minister of Law and Justice for the New Black Panther Party Southeast Region, and a member of the Black Lawyers of Justice. Okay, I didn't even know that was you, bro. I love you and I miss you. Make sure you call me after we get off this live, okay? Yes, ma'am. All right, have a good day. Thank you for calling in. You too. All right. Okay, bye-bye. All right. That was Bobby Worthy, the national chairman of the Justice League United, which is the new party of the Black Panthers that just called in, and we want to thank Bobby for calling in. Now, getting back to our interview with Mr. Mo Jarju from the Gambia. Yes. Tell us some things that that you feel that we can use from African principles of Gambia, because you know when you go to different parts of Africa, a lot of things are still different. The culture is different. The way that people see things are different. The way people act are different. So let's speak from your perspective of the Gambia. What are some things that you feel that America or you know us here in America and all over the world should adopt that will help us be unified? You know, something that, you know, are principles that you use in Gambia.
Thank you very much, Dr. Harris. I'm glad you brought that up. As a Gambian, I'm not sure how much of the Gambia that you know, but we have a very funny saying in the Gambia, which is the Gambia is the smiling coast of Africa. There's a reason for that. The reason it's been called that is that the people of the Gambia are known for their welcoming. Now, in every community you go, in every country you go, if that country is very welcoming, the citizens or the people that visit that country will feel at home. Now, if you open up yourself to any community, the receptiveness of those people adopting to your norms are very easy, because the only way we can get together or understand each other or mitigate with each other is by speaking the same tone. That is, if I welcome you to my home and open-heartedly have a discussion with you, then you will be receptive to what my norms are. And these are cultural norms that we should take with us everywhere. Black people have the ability to welcome anybody. But then it's also very important that you network with the right people in order to get the right information.
Correct. Because there is a lot of false information out here.
Sometimes people are distorted, or sometimes people just have a negative feeling of a certain aspect of a place because of a story that's been told.
Right.
Whether that is necessarily the truth.
Right. That might be their truth.
It might be their reality, but that's not the reality of the people from that place. So now, like a young man in the Gambia before, when you tell your parents you're going to America, most of the people had that experience. When you tell them you're going to America, be very careful. Don't follow the American girls because they play with guns. You see? But does that make it reality? No. I live here for 22 years now. I have not seen any woman that's put a gun in my face yet. And I hope that I will never see those days. But then this is coming from a portrayal of movies that they see that people are having guns at their disposal. But that doesn't make the whole of America being fascinated with guns.
Now, one of the problems that I have with, and that's all cultures that come here from other places, is this. A lot of times people come over here and they lose their culture. And they get lost in this sauce that's here, which this sauce was designed to destroy us here in America anyway. So they come with African principles, but after being here for a few years, they start getting a freedom in their mindset, which is still a slave mentality, because you're working and you're slaving and you're doing everything that you can to take care of your family. And a lot of times it's still not enough. So what do you see when it comes to that? Because I've been around a lot of Gambians, and my issue is this. You might go to the Gambians on this side of town, and they don't mess with the Gambians on this side of town. And they don't mess with these Gambians over here. But then they always talk about how strong Gambia is, but they don't even have that strength to even come together with each other. And I just feel that that's a definite problem, because you should not lose who you are no matter where you go. I mean, that's just what my thoughts are.
Right, good. I'm glad you're bringing every topic. That's a fair assessment of what some of our people, unfortunately, will do. But then, as a Gambian, what is beautiful is being with your people.
Right.
Whenever you are in any given situation, if you look around, would you rather see somebody strange to you, or would you rather see somebody who may identify with you?
Right. It should be like a family unit.
Exactly. So those of them, or those people that have those kind of aspirations, I feel sorry for them. And I feel that they have changes of heart, because what travel does for a human being is to have an experience of what of the unknown. Now, with that comes also with taking some of the things that you identify with that are part of you as a human being. Because as human beings, we all have aspirations in our own lives. But then leaving those away, I mean, your cultural norms, well, I would not be a community advocate if I have to leave what belongs to me to adopt what someone else is teaching me. Then that shows a sign of weakness, and that's not very good. And people like us as community advocates, those are the things that we are inspired by, to advocate to our people, to understand that when you go to a place, you bring certain values with you that you can share with those people, that they can emulate your people in return.
Right.
So you're doing a disservice by you just adopting that culture that you met and not sharing what is beautiful about where you come from to those people.
Exactly.
So we as a community advocate, I'm totally against those type of behaviors. I wouldn't be anywhere near a person that have that kind of mindset, because I will speak for the Gambia. For a Gambian, that's not normal Gambian practice. Normal Gambian practice is to open your home, to open yourself, and to show people how beautiful you are. So in the sense that anybody that comes to you, they're welcome.
Right.
Right.
And see, we have to get back to that, because unfortunately here in America, even our own people have got to a place that we can't trust each other because of the things that we do. And it's not just Americans. It's anybody that come, because most of us have that I, and that selfish mentality, to the point that we forget that we're not here just for ourselves, that there's always somebody else that we're assigned to in life. And because of that, what I would like to do is my goal is to be a part of every community. Why? Because it's very important. Now, when my daughter was 7 years old, I sent her I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and they have a school in Columbus, Ohio called Zenith Academy. And my daughter was the only Christian that went to Zenith Academy. Why? Because I seen even back then, and she's 20 now. So that makes 13 years ago. I seen back then the necessity of learning other people's culture and religion. And I wanted her to have that, that diversity so that she knows how to, she can open her arms and love everybody, not, because, you heard people, oh, you African booty snapper and all, they used to say all of that stuff, not realizing that there's no different in this person besides maybe a language barrier, but we all speak different languages. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Languages
some of us speak ghetto, some of us speak pure English, some of us speak broken English, some of us speak Wolof, some of us speak, all of everything. And there's so many different languages. The one common language that we have is English, and then the other language that people don't want to understand is a language that's spirituality. Spirituality is a language in itself, because what it says is that no matter what your belief system is, that has nothing to do with who we are together. Regardless of what your culture is, that has nothing to do with who we are together. And so I feel that if we start speaking the language of spirituality and not focusing on the religious tactics that was designed to keep us separated, we'll be a better people. If we focus on not where we come from, but where we're at and what we can do at that point where we're at to make a difference, I feel that this whole world will be a better place. And so I want to thank you. Can you go ahead and we're going to go ahead and we're going to play a Gambian song by Sona Jabate. And then after that, we're going to come back and you're going to tell us about your business. And then we're going to go into our second interview with our other guest, Mr. Nova, the Jamaican / dance hall artist.
Yes. Big man in the house. Yes.
Here we go. You can edit it or whatever. Y'all hear that? The original drum.
Actually, they're showing Gambia there.
Gambia.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
And what was she saying in that song?
I'm glad you asked that question, Dr. Harris. This lady is a very, very phenomenal world international artist celebrated all over the world.
Okay.
And she is born of Gambian descent. She comes from a family of griots in our hometown in Bansang. That is a generational traditional music. And she is born of a father that traveled to England and she was born. As you can hear her, she's actually singing in our native language, in one of the languages in the Gambia called Mandinka.
Mandinka.
Mandinka, yes.
Mandinka.
That's the tribe that she's from. And that's the language she's singing in, even though she was born abroad. She was born in England.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's singing in that language. And the message she's saying in this wonderful piece of music that she has is that wherever you are, do not forget where you are from.
Wow.
Yes. Because...
And there's so many people that they do forget.
That's the message behind this wonderful piece of music that she orchestrated. And then she's sending the message, wherever you are, don't forget where you're from. She is Gambian and she's proud to sing Gambian, to associate herself with the country. And her the basic undertone on this song is that the beauty of our culture and be proud of who you are as a nation. And be proud of your nation. And that's what she advocates. And it's a wonderful, wonderful music that I always remind myself of what a wonderful craft of music that inspired her to write such a beautiful song. So it goes to your point when you say we should get together. It starts from there. When you forget where you're from, you can't emulate anybody else to be better than what you know.
Exactly.
You cannot emulate somebody better than what you know. Exactly. And it's very important for Black people all over the world to emulate your people, have inspirations within your people, have people of wisdom to talk to, and maybe they might teach you a thing or two that you didn't know before that may have a deterring effect on trying to be somebody else that you're not. And that will help gap this togetherness that we're advocating for Black people all over the world. As a community advocate, I cannot stop saying that. This is the work of life. And then, just ask the right people and get the right answers, and you might adore something that you may have not known in your life, or you may have missed in your life that you may have known to impact other people who may learn from you as well. So togetherness is a must. Africans all over anywhere, Black people all over anywhere in the world are Black people. And we cannot be anything but Black people because that's what God intended for us.
Exactly.
So, and then we cannot change ourselves. So for those of us from the African or the Caribbean or the Americas, we are all one. We are all one people. And the lack of information or the lack of knowledge or wisdom seems to separate the goodwill of what we can be or what we can aspire to be. But that would not stop us. Those of us who are compassionate about bridging the gap.
Right. And as a community activist or advocate,
right,
what would you say to our people? If you had to say one thing that you feel that would be so powerful to get us to a place of understanding who we are and what we need to do in order to come together, what would it be?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Harris. What I would say as a community advocate for my brothers and sisters here in the Americas, do not believe what somebody else is feeding. Negativity breeds hatred for something you don't know. But then we are living in a digital world now. It's in a World Wide Web now. So every information you need to know about any place, you can find and then be resourceful. When you're resourceful, you can find information that benefits the masses of people and people like us, like my organization, for example. I'm not sitting here on that capacity, but for example, we've been existing here since our brothers and sisters have been within these communities from here. I cannot even stop naming the different cities they lived in since the 70s. So, I mean, there shouldn't be anywhere in Georgia, for example, that somebody wants to know about the Gambia and they can't find or they don't understand. There's informations available to them. So this is how we network. We keep networking with each other, but the informations and the organizations that can bridge the gap of wherever you want to go in the continent of Africa or the Caribbean, as a Black person, you should be able to find that information. And we are in advocacy because of that type of information, because negativity breeds hatred, and hatred brings not to be interested. And as an African, as a Gambian, I will always advocate for people to love, to know what is beautiful about my country. And in any country, there's negativity, yes, but I will only sit here and advocate for the positive of my country.
Right.
That is my work within myself, and it's my work.
Yeah, because the reality is that there's messed up people no matter where you go.
Exactly.
But there's also great people wherever you go as well.
And that starts
so we
from
have
them.
to learn how to focus on the great people. We have to focus on the people that want change, the ones that want to see us come together in unity.
Correct.
We can't focus on the ones that don't care.
Exactly.
Because a remnant of people that come together can create a whole atmosphere to change the whole kingdom. And so, I want to thank you so much for letting your voice be heard. And I do have some further questions for you,
No
but we'll come back to that.
Yes.
Right now, we're going to go to our other guest after we hear a song by Etana, which is my favorite artist in the world. She is a reggae artist, and this is a song that if you are in a relationship, if you feel like this in your relationship, this is, anybody should want to feel like this in a relationship. If everybody felt like this in a relationship, then families would be so strong. And the children will be so blessed because the parents have a mindset of blessings. And this is Etana's Blessings featuring Al Royce. You can call in 403-820-417. That's 404-380-1417.
Cause when a man love a woman and a woman love a man, I catch a blessing. When I love you and you love me, another blessing. Cause when a boy love a girl and a girl love a boy, I catch a blessing. Like I love you and you love me, another blessing. Well, it is a must, love you, my dear, it's my life priority. Just bless me with your smile, I love your simplicity. Like tomorrow, singing you. I'll make you my reality, girl. I will be the woman to satisfy your needs. You can count on me. Don't stand and shake. Of course, and you do everything. Cause when I run low, I come and I'm a woman, love a mama, judge and bless. Oh, like I love you, and you love me, and I'm blessing. Cause when a boy love a girl, and a girl love a boy, I judge and bless. Like I love you, and you love me, and I'm blessing. Well, some of them are trying to confuse your mind, but I am on a wall, not always a shine. Trust my heart, and for sure you'll be mine. Look up to the sky, that's a sign. Oh, that is just a waste of time. Them circles can break down the divide. I'm yours and you are mine, forever till the end of time. Yeah, like I love you and you love me. Cause when a boy love a girl and a girl love a boy, I judge and bless. Like I love you and you love me. We come from far, but we still love many miles in front of me. Loving you is like loving Jah the Almighty. I will love you, baby, until the eternity. Eternal trust, let your spirit free. Loving you is like making love for the very first time. So much love for the night. Just can't get enough. I swear I love a woman, love a mama, judge and bless. God, like I love you, you love me, it's a blessing. A boy love a girl, and a girl love a boy, I judge and bless. Like I love you, you love me, it's a blessing.
Alrighty, thank you. That is Etana and Blessing. That's off of her People Talk CD. If you don't know about Etana, don't be slipping on Etana. Etana is a deal. Etana is radical. Etana is the lovebird. Etana is just a woman, and I just love her. She encourages me, to be even more of a woman and to check myself in the midst of my relationships with people, as well as personally as well. So, Etana, I give you thumbs up, girl. You that thing, girl. And that is a reggae artist from Jamaica, Etana. Speaking of Jamaican artists, we have one in the house, and he's a Jamaican artist and dance hall artist. And as you see, he has a very strong accent. And you knew when he opened up his mouth exactly where he was from, Yama.
Nova.
And that is Nova. Nova came and blessed the house for us at my grand opening. And I want to tell you thank you again, because that grand opening would not have been the same without you. So Nova, tell them who you are.
Just an upcoming dancehall artist from Jamaica, Clarendon, cricketer of Clarendon. And I'm currently working with a producer, Rural Area Production, and then also from Jamaica.
Okay, I see them. Hey, Rural Area Production. And then for those of you who do not know, we now have BPU Radio on YouTube. And so you can stream live on YouTube. And we also have bpuradio.us, which is .us. It's not for United States, y'all, but it's for us because, collaboratively, that's us coming together. Everything's about us, y'all. It's not about it's not about you. It's about us. So Nova, you are from Jamaica. How long have you been in the United States?
Over 15 years, but I travel back and forth.
You travel back and forth. So are you in Jamaica more than you're in the United States?
No, not at the moment.
So you just never just lost that accent.
No, so girls are love it.
And they love it. Well, y'all better back up because he got a wife now. So
No,
tell
I want my girl.
so
Keisha, you hear the brother?
Only for girls, man.
Say only for girls I love the accent, man.
well, where you from?
You see, I'm from Gambia because if I show him a reggae show in the Gambia today, he will think that is the Caribbean.
Oh wow!
Believe me, that's how reggae is big in my country. So maybe Nova.
Yeah, I've heard that several times.
Believe me,
really
Gambia is a very big.
So that means you must need to take a trip to Gambia and get your groove
So
on.
Hopefully, one day he will make a trip.
So tell us about you, Nova.
Me, just a simple youth, just work hard, just grinding out the music, Hopefully, just want to get a lot of fan base right now, just want to start. So right now I'm just working, investing my money and time in the music.
So are you a Rasta?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Because most people, when they're Jamaican with locks, people ask, are you a Rasta?
Boy, I want to say,
Ja Rastafarian.
I'm just Nova. I have my own, way of me do things. That's just that,
Okay.
A lot of people claim to believe in different things, but I'm not sure.
Exactly.
So I mean, I really know if you answer the question. If me a Rasta, I mean,
that's a hard question for you.
Because everybody else a Rasta, we're still not a true Rasta.
Right.
Still not a true Rasta.
Right.
So I don't want to really tell you who I am. I just want to listen to music, grow with me, and as a fan, just figure that out for yourself,
Okay.
Just know that I'm a very cool person,
Yeah, you are. You are. You are. Now let me ask you this, and Fatima, I know that you can't talk, girl. I keep seeing you. I can't see your comments, but you can go to the Music Variety page, and I'll be able to see those comments. Nova, when it comes to bridging the gap between nationalities and religion, what do you feel about that?
I mean, bridging the gap between religion and nationality, that's important. I mean, because we're all, we're all humans, so that's very important.
Mm-hmm. And as Black people, we have a lot of stereotypes when it comes to, the different nationalities, the different things that we do, the different religions. What do you feel is important for the sake of our families, our communities, and our businesses when it comes to bridging the gap?
I mean, if we're bridging the gap, I think we'll be smart, obviously, because, I'm from Jamaica, he's from Africa, right? Mm-hmm. So, the way I do things and the way he do things, it's not all the same. Mm-hmm. So if I learn how he do things and you learn how I do things, then, it could open your mind. You want that tunnel vision.
Yes, because
there's more than one way to get something done. So.
And there is. So what is the way? Because they've been doing.
What's the way?
No, let me ask you this question. What is the way that we come together in unity? Because you in the United States, you've been seeing ever since you were young. You've been here for 15 years. So Monday is MLK Day, Martin Luther King Day. And that's the civil rights movement. But the civil rights, we still don't have no rights, and it's still not civil. So what do you see as a different way of approaching, our unified body as a whole?
Honestly, I don't see it. I don't.
And why is that?
I mean, because people still think they are different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody we're still so separated with many things: skin color, eyes, everything. So I just don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it.
And there's a lot of people that don't see it, and a lot of people that don't see it. It doesn't mean that that's not what they want.
I mean, I'm different though.
Mm-hmm.
I got that. I get along with everybody. I don't see that.
Right.
I think we're all equal.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
And don't you think that we're more powerful with each other than being more powerful separated?
Well, obviously, yeah. I think so.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to listen to some of Nova's music. And which one did you want me to play first?
Well, you could do 100 Mile. That's currently working on 100 Mile right now. When you called me up and talking about the show, I just decided to give you a sneak peek. It's still being mixed and mastered. I can't run on book.
Okay. Just a second. Let's get Nova's music together. Nova, not Can't Tell, so 100 Mile. Here we go.
She tell me about that haunted time. Haunted time. She tell me about that haunted time. What she said? She may want a haunted mile. She may spend her haunted time. She may do anything to spend some time. She want to know the time. She may want a haunted mile. She may spend her haunted time. She may do anything to spend some time. She will see over time. Y'all know the control and bumbo. Y'all want the right on the left hand too. Some of the abilities in them are brave and this. And I know what thing them all is a gun angle. And they will get off a gal bangle. Some of y'all have them as a big angle. They tell them a mistake come to the angle. She will walk, she will ride on a bike. She will walk a hunting man. She will spend her home the time. She will do anything to spend some time. She want to know the time. She will walk a hunting man. She will spend her home the time. She will do anything to spend some time. She will see over time. But I bring him round in talk with this. She said, man, I need her down. She said, man, I'm this. If I go and jam up, she said, oh, what this? She said, oh, why you so clean? You should have been Chris. She love the handsome and the dreadlockness. Her back on it and so everything just me can pull up anywhere. I said, simple like this. Baby, come check man up. She will work her hunting man. She will spend her hunting time. She will do anything to spend some time. She want to know the time. She will work her hunting man. She will spend her hunting time. She will do anything to spend some time. She will see over time. Y'all know the control and bumbo.
Alrighty.
Well, that's just a sneak peek to the one. And
Right. And what inspired that song?
Producer is still working on that one. What inspired?
Mm-hmm.
It was actually a girl that actually walked to come sing, you know?
It was what?
Seriously. True story.
You said what?
It was a female that walked to my house for a very long, very long journey.
Oh, wow.
And it inspired that song.
So she walked to your house a very long distance. So you said she's walking over
Just to
time.
come spend some time.
Oh, that's nice. Hey, shouts out to you, female. I mean, it must have been that serious. But how far was the walk? Tell us that.
I don't know, I really asked her, she probably, but by the way, she was sweating, I must say how far. It must be how far.
Nova is fun too. So, and the next song that we have by Nova is Can't Tell Me, right?
Yeah, this song was actually, that song's completed. It was released last year, almost, I want to say, middle of last year. It's on YouTube and things like that. Got a little video for it, so just run it.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and do that one. Can't Tell Me.
Me want the girl to come and say, wine and show me. Wine and show me. Wine and show me. The girl to come and say, wine and show me. Wine and show me. Wine and show me. Talando. I want to get them, you don't want to move. Talando. That looks good, you want to go. Talando. said, where you want to go? Give me angel now, where you go. She said, give me the nanny, and give me show it off. You don't never know, I got it good at all. Look off the light, and me watch your body glow. Everything I show, but the private show. Nobody knows me, want to speak to me, I ain't going back, when the price for you. Then, the big up on money, the ice for you. Yeah, you should have when I was a die for you. The benefit from tight for you. Then, money ain't tired, life for you. And then you see the bar, let me just fight for you. When you do what's that, you got to do. Orlando, show me where you go. Orlando, nobody can tell me you wanna move. Orlando, gotta look for you, Orlando, nobody can tell me you wanna move. Orlando, everybody is a money like you want to. Everyone know what you need to do. If you want to let you, me no buy that's a part of me so. When I be man and I saw me big slow, me know I wanna hold. I yo, tell me the truth, I'm in heart of you. Come and let you know that I got it what me know. When me know. Wind up your body down, wind it low. Wind up your body down, wind and show me. Put the more down and let your body tell it so. Take it to the season, there you go. Come up, your body down, do kind soul. Put my chest right there, I want you hold it. Put it over, come and get it just soul. They know what I like, lose it and soul.
That is Nova. You have some very great dance hall music. Very inspiring. It's even more in depth when he's performing because he's actually a performer too. Yes. So Nova.
That was tight.
So Nova. One of the things that when I met you, actually it was a Gambian that actually introduced me to him, Yankuba Jarju. And he actually was Ubering and he was in his car and he was like, you have to hear this guy. He said he got music and I think it'd be something that'd be good for you. But when he was saying it'd be good for me, he knew that I was writing a film that that requires in the film all 5 of the characters are actually music artists, and I wanted to have them from different nationalities. So hopefully Nova is going to be one of my main characters in my film Heart of a Dope Man, God be willing. Nova, if you had something that you can say or that you could put out there to our people regarding making a change and coming together in unity, what would it be?
Well, I'll tell you what. How about this? Like making a change is important, right? Mm-hmm. So what I would like to say is let's just focus more on like the positive things, because I said earlier that I really don't see a change as well. That's not necessarily true. I don't see the changes as much as I think it should be.
Exactly.
But it is there because I live in a mixed community. And we all get along. So it is there, and I think if we focus more on that part of it, then it'll get better.
Exactly. And so, how old are you?
Me? 33.
33.
Yeah.
So I know that being here in the United States, being that age, you've seen a lot of men out here that have chosen all the wrong paths in life, and it's black on black crime and all of the things that's going on. First of all, I want to go ahead and give my condolences again to Kimberly Meeks and Martina McNeil and all of their family members. Yesterday, Kimberly Meeks' son, Chazwan, who is a father of 8 children, was gunned down and killed yesterday in Columbus, Ohio. And it was very dear to me because, my daughter's friend, it is her kid's father. And, that's another 8 children without a father. And then guess what? The person that shot him probably has children too. So that's going to be somebody else that's either dead or in jail because, of retaliation or because the law is going to get whoever it is. Right now, they don't have any suspects at all. But I definitely want to give my condolences, not only to that family, but to all of the families that have lost their loved ones and their sons and their daughters. We had a woman that was 35 weeks pregnant in Columbus, Ohio, that was murdered. And her child is in critical condition. They saved the child thus far, but the child is in critical condition. Since the beginning of this year, Columbus, Ohio has more murders than Chicago, Illinois, and Chicago is 5 times as big as Columbus, Ohio. What are your thoughts on that situation?
On like what, crime?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't like violence. No, nobody wants to see violence, but I really don't want to speak too much on that because there's a reason why it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And, violence. It's never a good thing, but there's a reason why these areas are the way they are. You see what I'm saying?
What are the reasons, do you feel?
Plenty of reasons. Politicians, our leaders,
Mm-hmm.
Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to be quick to judge someone that's in a bad situation.
Right.
I just hope that all these people that's in a bad situation could find a way out, so it doesn't have to be like that anymore. But
See, one of the things that I addressed yesterday is that we have a church and a lot of mosques on every corner, but the communities aren't changing. Why is that? These are questions that a lot of people are puzzled by because they really don't have a legit answer. And a lot of times we go in the building and hide when the communities need us. But we set up in these same communities that are killing black on black crime and doing all of these different things to hurt us as a people, and nothing changes. Why is that? Why do you feel that is, Mo?
Dr. Harris, it brings us to my first point. See, lack of not knowing breeds ignorance.
Exactly.
Now, if you're subjected, I will repeat that, if you're subjected to a certain way of unfortunate situation, you can find yourself easily being pushed to what they want you to be.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to push back and be
That's
who
good.
you want to be.
That's good. That's good.
There's a choice in every situation. But you have to seek what you want to be like.
Exactly.
See, we have our God-given talents. That's with every living being, because God did not just send us here to be nuisances or menaces to life.
Right.
But then in human life, you know that if you're subjected and you leave a situation where they want you to be a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
so they can continue to aspire.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to dig yourself from that and be the wise person. If you don't know, seek people who have wisdom and know-how and have been living practices to make situations work, who make lemons, who make lemonade out of lemons. So that's why we should all aspire to be. Any human being wants to be good.
Exactly.
If anybody is living in this earth who says, I just want to be called a bad person, you show me that person, I will move away from them as far as the eye can see.
Mm-hmm.
Because that means you have no wisdom at all. Because Black people, no matter what the subjugations they put to us, we have to fight to become who we have as a people.
Exactly.
And create a narrative for our people. And create an environment that brings and breeds and aspires young people of our color to become good and moral citizens that we can celebrate anywhere in the world.
Yes. And see, the thing is, people, what we're saying is this. It's going to take for us to come together and collab in order to position ourselves to the power that we were already destined to have. And we're powerful people, but we operate powerless. And why is that?
It's the mindset. Because when people are fighting to be ahead in life, the fight is not individuals. The fight is the mind and soul. So some Black people who lack wisdom don't understand that the fight is not individually or physical fights or violence to resort to that. The fight we are to be engaged in is to win the minds and hearts of our people. If you win the minds and hearts of our people, then they become wise people and they have wisdom. And then we can win. So a lot of people choose ignorance over being wise, and that's not a way of life. I would say no. I know your music is powerful. I have to give you that, brother. I know you're from the Caribbean, but your music is really, really powerful, and I commend you for that. Dr. Harris, we have to advocate for our people to be wise and wake up, that the fight is no longer physical. The fight is for the wise people and for the brave. And to be brave means you also aspire to teach your people what God has given you and share it with them. The fight is within the minds and the soul. If we win the minds and the souls of our people, we can create a progressive community anywhere.
Yes, yes. So how do we win the minds and souls of our people?
By teaching them. Those of us who are blessed with knowledge should be willingly sharing their knowledge with the people who are unfortunately subjugated to ignorance. Ignorance is not by choice. Ignorance sometimes is subjugated. If you're subjugated to something through an unfortunate situation, you don't learn how to do that. And that's what community advocacy brings.
Right. Something
as going to a school and volunteer yourself to sit with children and talk to them for 1 hour can make a whole lot of difference. But do everybody in this America with these busy work schedules know that that actually makes a difference?
Yes, it does.
Exactly.
Yes, it does.
So with that, we can start winning the hearts and minds. People can only believe in you if they see you.
Right.
It has to be visible as well.
Now you have a movement. What is that movement called and what is it about?
Well, I belong to an organization, actually. It's a nonprofit organization that operates here in Atlanta. For the past 17 years, we have been involved in our community. What we do is, first of all, we are a nonprofit that exists in emergency relief efforts. And also, recently, we have diversified our operations and to reach out with a whole lot of people. And it's no longer just emergency relief. Is that because what we realized as a Gambian community is that when our brothers came to this country in the 70s and late in the 80s and coming to the 90s, it was just an educational base. They come here and they go to school, go to universities, get their degrees, and they go back home. And some of them ended up staying here. And these are generations of people that are here now that have educated themselves and live within this community. Then we thought to ourselves, and when an unfortunate situation came to some of our citizens who were working at the airport, they were arrested for being undocumented. And then that became a situation where our community was forced, how do we help these people to get legal help?
Legal, right.
So we were very lucky. A Gambian lawyer from Washington, D.C. came and helped us out of that situation. And out of that, the religious leaders and our community elders got together and said, hey, we cannot continue a community like this. We live in the United States. We need to educate our people how to be here, how to be safe here, and how to raise children responsibly. The way we can do that is by speaking with one voice. So we started this organization called AJERA, which is an acronym for Atlanta Emergency Relief Association.
Okay, so that's what this magazine is. It's an AJERA magazine that shows the graduates and fashion. So this magazine is what, a collaborative magazine?
Well, the magazines is a collaborative effort of the different things we engaged in a few years and then all that. As you can see, that actually the program that you see on the cover there, there's a young lady who received a scholarship from the organization. And last year, I mean, this was for 2016, and this year we gave 5 of the same scholarships, $500 each. And as I'm speaking to you today, we have an educational committee that also partnered. See, this you're saying bridging the gap. This is what organizations do. When you ask for information, you get it. One of our Gambian sisters who work for an organization happened to network with the Parsi Foundation, which is an African-American foundation that advocates for African-American, unfortunately, I mean, let me put it that way, an organization that advocates for less fortunate people to get scholarships for 4-year degree scholarships in any elite school that of their choice. So as we speak, I'm very proud community advocate because that championing of the trying to educate our community, trying to understand our children and trying to let them understand the only way you get ahead in America is if you sacrifice to educate yourself. In that you can get ahead. And as I'm speaking, we are very grateful for the Parsi Foundation. Last week at the Fox Theater, one of the Gambian students became a recipient of a 4-year degree to Brandon College.
Oh, wow.
So, free of charge. This is
wow.
through her hard work and her parents' encouragement. See, this is what community was. And this is a child that parents are very involved in the community organization. Mm-hmm. So with our community organization, which is a Gambian-based community organization of Gambian Americans living abroad here in the United States, but then we also help back home. But we bridge the gap with our African American community to seek for what can we do as a family-based organization that is non-profit, that's operating here. We have children here. We understand no one is going anywhere. But this is very important to us. Education to champion that in our children, they will become future leaders. And if we connect them with what is the norm in this country, then they can aspire just like any other student, any part of this country of the United States. Right. So now that's why today I'm once again very, very happy to say that one of our recipients of the PASI scholarship to Brandeis College for a 4-year free scholarship.
That's really, really good.
Really
that's
impressive.
Really good. That's really
and
good.
I mean, we have had so many stories I can see here today. And this is all coming from this organization's educational committee.
And that's Agera.
Agera, yes. And then we had people go to meet the governor because one of our students also was a valedictorian. We had 2 students graduate as valedictorians from our community because we get them involved. We get our people involved. We get involved in their lives and tell them. Right. And then we create community events that they can come to and we can share the little networking that we have. And this is open to everyone. Like African Americans who want to network with our community organization is here for you.
Right. And that's what my next question was. How can we, people that are not Gambian, come and connect with this organization to, to grow this organization, but also to cater to our community efforts of unity?
Wonderful. Like I said, we're in a global phenomenon now. That means the world is connected just at your fingertips. Agera as an organization, I'm not sitting here today as an executive in that capacity to share, but then it's something that I advocate for, so I'm perfectly happy to share what we do. In connecting with us, we are available on the websites. We have websites. We have community advocates. We have 1-888-AGERA. You can call and reach one of the executives. And we network with the community simply because there are some people that help us. And 2 years, like I'm sitting here today, we've worked with the Rainbow Push Coalition.
Wow.
We participated in the Black Mayors Conference. So we partnered with the Northside Hospital years ago. So these are all people, and Agera is an open. Actually, you don't have to be Gambian to be part of Agera. You can be an African American.
Okay, well, I'm in there.
As long as you identify with being Gambian, with being compassionate and being knowledgeable to share your wisdom with any Gambian that you meet, you are part of Agera because that's what we stand for. We stand for being compassionate, and also we are open to share our culture with everybody. And we have so many cultural events. We have about 3 or 4 calendar events every year, and we have several committees within the organization that advocates like the educational part and the giving back, which we partner with recently actually we did ship medical equipment back to our home country to help the unfortunate situation with the medical situation. Those are some of the projects that we are involved in, and it's very important. And we cannot be grateful of a country that gives so much and keeps giving.
Wow. So let me ask you this. You said that it's Agera, 1-800-AGERA?
1-800-AGERA or 1-888-AGERA.
That's 1-888-AGERA. 1-888-AGERA.
Correct.
And that is 1-800-AGERA. And like you stated, you don't have to be of Gambian descent in order to join this organization. It is an Atlanta Gambian Emergency Relief Association. And it's very important that we as a people come together and bridge the gap between our nationalities. That means our organizations. That means everything that has to do with us. Now, Nova, when you do your music, do you have anything? What's going on with you? Do you have anything upcoming?
Yes, the 100 Mile song that you just did that we're still working on. I'm actually working on the video for that right now.
Okay, I want to be a part of this video. When's it gonna be shot at?
It's already started. I think I'm going to be finished in about 2 more weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. And
All
just
right.
wanna
Well, make
say-
sure you give shouts out to Dr. Harris Live.
Definitely. When you going to have another show?
Actually, within the next few weeks, I'm putting together something now. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be offering certifications for the arts. So we're going to be offering certification for radio, personality, and producers. We're going to be offering certification for acting. We're going to be offering certification for stage presence. We're going to be offering certifications for a lot of different things in the arts because it's very important for us to understand. Education is important, but my problem with this American system is this. Even once you've spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in student loans, a lot of times you still can't even get a job in an area, especially if it's something that you've done in the arts. So one of the things that I feel that hands-on training is very important when you're hosting, when you're doing certain things, it's important for you to have certifications so that you can move forward and take that wherever you go. So BPU Top Media is coming up with certification classes that is going to give you a certificate. It's going to be a daily class for whatever your certification is. You will get a certificate, but the thing about it is that we don't limit you. You can use your certificate anywhere that you go because we're starting our film and music community. And just like Hollywood has SAG, us as a people have to learn how to have our own organizations, our own distribution, our own movements to create wealth within our people. And so that's what we're doing right now is we're in the process of working this out because there's a lot of people that can't afford to go to college. But you can, if you already have a gift, you can come and get certified and use that certification no matter where you go. Sometimes we already have the certification just being who we are. But that piece of paper, a lot of people want that piece of paper. So for $50 to $100, you get certified and you can use that wherever you go. And then we also put you in our database. And our database is going to consist of a lot of different producers that are doing movies, a lot of different people that are doing different events that need hosts and, different people. We're going to create a large database and we want that to be a conglomerate database. We don't only want it to be American people. We want it to be people of all nationalities of who we are. And even if you're not Black, but you understand that we do cater to our people, but we love everybody, then come on. You can get certified too. It's not a prejudice movement. It's just a movement of accountability, action, and responsibility of our people. And no matter who you are, if you understand that that's what we need and you're okay with that, then that means that you're okay with us excelling and becoming the powerful people that we're designed to be. And we invite you as well. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and play the last song from Gambia. And then is there anything else that either one of you would like to say before we end this interview?
Definitely. Follow me at nova.pressplay on Instagram.
And that's Nova, NOVA .PRESSPLAY, one word.
Yes.
And that's on all your social medias?
Pretty much.
Okay, and how about you?
Well, thank you. I would like to thank your listeners very well because it's amazing to just follow somebody because of their compassion and their wisdom. Mm-hmm. And I'm once more very grateful for your invitation, Dr. Harris, and to share this platform with you. Mm-hmm. And I'm very grateful. Our communities, what I can share with you is, please, let's network. Negativity never wins.
It doesn't.
Negativity never wins.
No matter where it comes from.
No matter where it comes from. Seek wisdom, seek knowledge to know the truth about what you're seeking to know. Mm-hmm. And you will be very surprised that the information is right under your tips. And as a Black person, I am a very proud Black person. Mm-hmm. And I love my people. Mm-hmm. And I would love to network with anybody that may need me as far as any information.
And trust me, we are going to use you to the capacity, not use you up, but use you to your advantage as well as ours.
I am available, and this is what life has brought me in this country that gave me so much and gave me 3 beautiful children right here in the Americas.
Oh, wow.
Who are doing very well, and I'm so proud of them. They're all in school. One is in nursing, one is doing psychology, and college students. But I am very, very grateful for being here. And then once again, and I say thank you to all Black people anywhere in the world my good friend over from the Caribbean, and I'm very proud. And I will be one proud listener of your music from now on, because I am part of it.
Yeah, his dancehall music is very great. Like I said, his stage
music.
presence is even better.
I love all kinds of music.
Yeah,
and
me too.
hopefully he will get an introduction to the Gambian community, because I will get to give him a lot of information, because Gambians love reggae music.
They do.
Yes, definitely.
Love reggae music. Like just last week, Jackie was in the Gambia. So this
Wow.
is, yes. And Luciano basically calls Gambia home. And
Right.
actually, the legendary Frankie Poole
Right.
called Gambia home for the past 10 to 15 years. So
Right.
that's a powerful thing. So we are connected in every aspect. And once again, I am very grateful to your audience. I am grateful to anyone watching us live broadcast here at BPU Radio. And I'm grateful to your community and your audience. And thanks again for sharing your wisdom with people who so need it as a caller.
I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Dr.
Yes, definitely. Everybody will tune in, big up on yourself, and Dr. Harris.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But I want to give that same shout out to Nova and to Mo. It's very important that your voices are heard. If we're all quiet, then nobody hears anything to make a change. But if we're all speaking change and we're all speaking positive, that has to trickle in the atmosphere to create something that has not been done at this point. So I look forward to working with both of you in whatever manner that God see fit. And I thank you again for coming and tuning into Dr. Harris Live. And we are going to leave you today with Jai Madi. Can you pronounce that?
Jali Madi.
Jali Madi. And this song is Alake. Alalake. I'm learning.
God be it. So what we just discussed now, that's what he's saying.
Good No matter what they try, still them just can't stop it. Johnny Money, Holy Family, we go rock it. I go single, we go drop it.
There's an American who moved into Gambia.
Straight to the top, mama
The
line.
guy singing is an American from back here. He moved to the Gambia 10, 15 years
It's
ago.
so good if you let it.
He has a studio in the Gambia. Hakeem.
Wow, that music, those instruments is just food for
Yeah,
the
that's
soul.
Hakeem
Right?
singing in the background. He's an Atlantan, actually. He's from Atlanta, from Bankhead. He had a studio in the Gambia, and he's moved to Gambia over 15 years now.
Oh, wow.
So, they're brothers. They live in the Gambia. They call Gambia home. And he has produced some of the music for Akon. And
Yeah, I
he's
know.
a-
Yeah,
Hakeem,
Akon,
yeah.
it's very
Yeah,
connected to the Gambia, and
He had produced most of the hit songs that Akon is known for.
Wow.
There's this guy that you hear in the background, Hakeem, very wonderful producer back in the Gambia. So shout out to everything. Like I said, it's a connection, and all these connections also came from a young lady that is, Gambian of African American descent, or from parents who are mixed parents. But then she does a wonderful job. She even brings Roots Homecoming to the Gambia.
Okay.
So she creates a tour that takes African Americans back to the continent, and they can learn. And with the former government, so it was orchestrated where they can learn the culture and be part of the celebrations and get to enjoy what Gambia is all about. And this information is also here, and it's been going on. She's been creating this tour from here and the Caribbean, and a wonderful lady, Gambian that lives right here in Atlanta, and she's connected worldwide.
Wow.
Holy Mother. And
I need to
she's
meet
the
her.
daughter of an activist. She's the daughter of an activist.
Oh, wow. I
Yes,
need to meet
from
her.
Tuskegee, and a very powerful woman. She lived in the Atlantis, and she has been doing her quota in that bridging the gap, just like what you've done, and she's passionate about it. And she has taken several Jamaicans back to the Gambia, and several African Americans. I can't even count how many.
Okay, so
have
y'all make
taken
sure
the
that y'all
journey
go on
around.
and connect before we leave here today.
Yes.
Make sure
Big
that
up
you
yourself.
do. Yes, make sure that you do.
Big up,
And
big
we're
up,
going to
big up.
end this with a commercial that is about an event that's coming up that the Nation of Islam is putting on. Just a second.
Dance contests and dance. Attention all dancers and dance lovers. Righteous Elevated Entertainment presents Stepping into Paradise. Dance contests and dance. Hosted by Gigo and DJ Organic. Saturday, February 3rd. Doors open 5 p.m. at Rendezvous Event Center, Jonesboro, Georgia. Buy tickets online at RighteousElevatedEntertainment.com.
Alrighty. Thank y'all so much for tuning in
Thank
to
you,
Dr.
Dr.
Harris
Harris.
Live, the Black People Unity Show, where we are rebirthing our Black nation one day at a time. Please tune back in on Tuesday from 5 to 7, where we have some very special guests, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much. And Black people, we love you here at BPU Radio. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of people on here.
You're in catch lunch?
On the live.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm like,
you.
what was that noise out there? Why you ain't had a door shut?
No, there's a lady in here asking about it. Respect.
Huh?
Nice one, brother.
Thank you.
Respect, total respect, much respect. Nothing but all the way. Every big world.
Look like you too. I was like, I can see Andy's little booty. Girl, we going with some flowers. Okay. Huh?
So they're gonna come here.
Yes, hey Sherry. Can you? Okay, so for YouTube Live, all they gotta do is push in. Can you start? Like redo the live, like push that one done, and then like start redo the live, and then put the Get At You, DJ Get At You and Street Nitty show on the two Facebooks. So you don't gotta do it on there.